Hi, I'm Meg. I'm the editor here at Seamwork. One of my favorite things about sewing is connecting to other people who love to make their own clothes. And if you love to make your own clothes, you probably also love fabric. And here at Seamwork, we are lucky enough to be able to connect makers worldwide, and we're also lucky enough to be able to meet fabric shops worldwide. So today we're going to hear from Ames, who owns Indie Bindi, which is an independent fabric shop in Australia. And Indie Bindi specializes in some pretty amazing fabric designed by Japanese designers. And Ames has a really close relationship with all the designers in her shop. So today she is going to tell you a little bit about her story and how she started her fabric shop and introduce you to some of these designers as well as their incredible work. We're going to go ahead and put Ames's contact information down below along with links to social media and her shop so that not only can you connect to these makers, but you can also do a little bit of fabric shopping.
Hi, I'm Ames. I'm the owner of Indie Bindi Fabrics, which is an online fabric store specializing in Japanese designer textiles. And I just wanted to share a little bit about me and my shop and how it all came about and show you some beautiful fabrics today. So I'm Australian, but I've had a long held love of Japan. When I was 16, I applied to go on exchange to two places. One was Japan because I was studying the language at school, and the other was Italy because I love Italian food. And I got sent to Japan and I fell in love with the place. I had a wonderful host family. I made great friends. I started karate, which I'm still doing and teaching now 25 years later. And it turns out I love the food there too. So it was an amazing year and it changed my life. I lived in lots of different places around the world after that, but I kept getting drawn back to Japan. And so when my second son was born, we were living in Tokyo and I had just discovered the indie fabric world in Japan, and it blew me away. I learned to sew as a child, so I always loved collecting unique fabrics, and so I knew that these fabrics just had to be shared with other sewists. I love supporting and sparking creativity, and I just feel like with these fabrics you just can't help but be inspired. So that was the start of Indie Bindi Fabrics. And now the other thing that I love about what I get to do is being able to support the designers and the artists that are behind the designs. And so over the last 3 years or so that I've been doing this, I've been able to get to know each of the designers personally, and it feels like such a privilege. They're such beautiful people and each one is unique in their own individual way. So I just wanted to share some of their designs with you today. I thought I'd start with Otsuki Yumi. So she hand paints her designs before getting them digitally printed. So it means in the final design you can actually see the paint strokes that she's made. And this design is the one that first captured my heart of hers. It is called Ajisai, which translates to hydrangea in English. And I just love the blues and the purple tones and the little touches of green, and just the fact that you can literally see where her paintbrush touched the original canvas, and I just love it. She's such a romantic designer. She does lots of florals, and they all have this kind of beautiful moodiness to them. Our newest designer at Indie Bindi Fabrics is Kanaria. So I saw her work and wanted to contact her for the longest time, but I didn't. And then I was talking to Yumi, the previous designer, one day, and I saw one of Kanaria designs on her phone. This one, actually. It's called Ribbon. And we got talking, and it turns out they went to university together. So she connected us, and then the rest is history. So Kana has a very playful, organic way of creating. She's also known for creating designs with paper cutting. This one she created by starting off drawing a continuous line, and the design kind of evolved from there. And I really wanted to share this designer with you. This is Kayo Aoyama. This design is called Flower Ball. It's quite hard to see online, which is one of the challenges of running an online fabric shop. She also hand paints her designs before getting them digitally printed, and often in watercolor, as with this one. It has these gorgeous fresh spring-like colors that are even more beautiful in person. And although she does a lot in watercolor, she also has a huge range of techniques that she uses to create. She sketches in graphite, pencil, uses gouache. But this is the design that when I first saw it, I knew that I had to try to get her on board at Indie Bindi Fabrics. Aside from the gorgeous minty colour, I hope you can see these little matchsticks. It's called Match, with the little yellow heads on them. Kaya was inspired to create this one day when she opened a little matchbox and she saw each of the little match heads inside were a different colour, and it kind of took her breath away in that moment. And she just thought that there is beauty to be found everywhere, and that is when she brought this design to life, which I love. Another design house we have is Nokogo. They're made up of a husband and wife team that are based in the mountains of Aichi, more towards the center of Japan. So they're heavily influenced by their environment in the way they create. This one is called Toritachi, all the birds. And if you look closely, you can see one of their two cats. They have a ginger and a grey featured here as well. The other amazing thing about Nokogo is that every one of their fabrics are hand printed. So they use a printing house in Kyoto that has been running for over 60 years. And for each individual colour, a different mould is required. So it's quite time intensive, but the result is beautiful subtlety in the design. I love this blush colour on this one. This is called Ishigaki, which translates to rock wall. So it's literally inspired by a rock wall that's near their home, and it has these gorgeous blooms and plants growing from in between the rocks. The final designer I wanted to share with you today is Manine. She is actually the first designer that I brought on to Indie Bindi Fabrics. She has a completely different way of designing. She dives deep into researching a theme for every fabric collection that she releases. And then once she has the theme, she creates these incredible characters. You can see some of them here. These designs behind me are also by her. And each character has a name, an age, a star sign, hobbies, love interests, family trees, all different kind of quirks and personality traits. And the detail is just incredible, like not just in the backstory, but also in the design itself. You can see this lady here is Mrs. Schnappweicher, and she's actually wearing a dress in another Manine fabric. So her imagination is just amazing. I'll show you one more design from her. This one is called Doguli, and it was the first design of hers that I saw. On that very first day, I snapped up the grey colourway of this and made a top, and I also got this red, which I now have a dress in. As you can tell, I am so grateful to be able to work with these artists and be able to share their fabric with sewists all over the world. And I love, love, love seeing what my customers make out of the fabric. If you would like to leave a comment below and let me know which fabrics you loved or what you think you'd make with them, that would make my day. You can also find me at Indie Bindi Fabrics on all social media, so please drop me a line. I would love to hear from you. I am happy to speak all things fabric and sewing any day. So I hope to see you there, and thank you for watching. Bye.